Hello and welcome to the Even Me podcast. This is More Speaks
And your girl Kim.
and your girl Kim. All right.
Always.
And today, this is podcast number 23. We were just talking about that
Woo!
and we've made it through past 20. So,
Wow.
today's podcast um got another topic for you guys. And this is a almost like a rhetorical question. Why am I stupid?
Hmm.
And what we mean by that is, why, um, not literally stupid, but, basically, why would I go back to something that I know is not good for me? Or why would I go back to something that I know leads nowhere? So, Kim, go ahead and tell me what you think, and then I'll go with my side. Ladies
Okay.
first.
Mm, Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I'm feeling under the weather for the last 3 days, but I'm here. I'm here. Um, how, like, really, how can I be this stupid? And when a person did, first of all, never ask themselves that, they haven't been living, because you've been stupid once or twice in your life. But how we go back to something that we know that's leading the road to nowhere. I've done it because it feels familiar. I'm gonna say that it feels comfortable. You don't have to make any changes. You can go back to being your old self, dealing with the old things. You don't have to evolve and make changes. So you feel like, okay, I can go back to that comfort. I can go back to that relationship. I know I'm gonna deal with this because it is just the comfort or the fear of moving on and what may be out there for you, which may be better than what you've dealt with, but you just so set with this is comfortable. So you deal with what's going on in that relationship and it's toxic for you. It ages you, it causes all kinds of turmoil, but you're just thinking, okay, I don't have to make any changes. I just go in back in there and be me and deal with what I deal with, like a little kid. You got to deal with stuff, but when you become an adult, you don't have to put yourself through it. And that's what a lot of us adults need to understand. We're adults now. We don't have to put up with that type of stuff. And then a lot of times we deal with stuff because of guilt. We don't want to be the bad person and lead this person in the situation, so you stay there and you deal with it, but because it was guilt, and or you want to be Captain Save them. You want to be the person to bring them out their situation, whether it could be depression, drugs, alcohol, uh to that you want to be that person. And I think that's my problem I have to work on, because I want to be Captain Saving to everybody except for myself. So I have to learn to start saving myself from some situations. That's
Yeah,
my
you
take.
can't be Captain Save to everybody because you have to put a stop. And we spoke about this last podcast that's coming out. Um, you don't want, and the analogy I gave before is just like on the airplane. When you're on the airplane, some of the safety advices that they give you is put on your mask first before you put on your child's mask. Basically save yourself self so you can save the next person. And I think with being Captain Save 'em, all the time, if you do that, you never worry about yourself. You're too busy worrying about pleasing that person,
Hmm.
also appeasing them, and also, making sure that everything's right for them. But you're not doing that for yourself because now you're being the person, oh, let me make sure this is this, let me make sure this is this. And then basically 2 weeks after, everything goes back to normal, goes back to you know whatever you feel stupid about being, that it goes back to that because now you're in the same rut, you're in the same cycle that you had before. If they beat you before, they're going to beat you again. If they mistreat you before, they're going to mistreat you again. It's just going to go back, like we said before. that person hasn't changed. It's not like it's a whole new person. Basically, you have to step out and basically be, you know what? I'm just going to change my situation, change my, I guess, demograph, or my location, and just move away. Do something new. Do something, that you're not used to. Do a whole new thing. Just kind of basically dump them. Just get away and move forward with your life, and not have to go back to that same vicious cycle, or the abuse cycle, or the substance abuse type cycle. Anything that happened in the past is going to happen again. You're going to have that sweet spot, yes, when you guys get back together, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. They're trying to win your love, you're trying to win their love. Like, let's say you're the cycle one. You being a person, you're gonna want to conform first, and make sure everything's good, but everything's gonna come back full circle. It's not like it goes away. It's still, like we said before, it's still the same person. Nothing
Hmm.
has changed. The situation has changed by a few weeks, or however long you guys were separated, a few years, but it's gonna go back, because that's what you're used to, and that's what they're used to. They know they can get away with calling you names, or mistreating you. It's gonna come back, and then you knew you got away, you know doing certain things. You got away for a little while, but when you come back, it's just gonna go full circle.
Hmm. I think it's a lot of time is we water ourselves down to be with a person, and that is the worst part. Because when you water yourself down, you don't know your worth, and you don't know what you're capable of, because you want to deal in the presence of that person. Um, as for me, some things that I've been going through, and I was just like, you gotta figure you out, Kim, really, because you kind of know yourself, but you don't totally know yourself, because you allow yourself to go back to situation and people. That's not good for you. That's not healthy for you. So basically, like yesterday, I was feeling so bad, so under the weather. I even my mental started breaking down also at that time, and like I just called our helpline, and EAP is like, look, I need a therapist right now, and getting back into therapy again, because you reach something. Because I'm like, this therapy don't stop after 6 months. You haven't worked out 40 years in 6 months,
Hmm.
so you need something, and it took me to really open up to other people, to say it is something deep down wrong with me, because I'm not taking care of myself. I'm taking care of everybody else. I want to save everybody else. I want to be there for everybody else. I don't want to be the bad person. If I leave somebody, that means I'm bad, because I done that before. God's punishing me, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, God don't punish us that way. God really, we're punishing ourselves by staying in the situation where we're not recouping what we're giving out, at least half, not a 100, but half of what we're giving out. We're not getting that back. And we only getting the bare minimum. It's just because we are in some type of fear of, being alone, not loved, but we're never gonna find that love. That person could be standing on the other side of this storm that I'm going through, you know. And I know a lot of people going through it right now, that you go through relationship breakups, and it's hard. It tears you down so much. But I was sitting there like, why am I toe down? This is not unfamiliar to me. It's the same thing. I've been through it. But why this time it hurts a little bit more? I guess because I went in thinking, okay, he didn't change. This duck got he got a cleaner suit on. So he changed himself. So I'm like, I'm ready to go in here working hard. You forgive people for what they did and what they said. That's the godly thing to do. But I was watching Selma, Malcolm, and Martin Luther King, at when he was saying how Malcolm was so, rambunctious and he believed the things he believed. I think the problem is I'm a Malcolm, but deep down, I mean, I'm a Martin, but deep down, Malcolm is in there. And I just want to fight everything to stand up for what's right for me. And I have to do that in the right way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do it to curse nobody out. I don't want to call nobody out of name. I don't want to put no blame on anybody, make you feel bad for what you did. I don't. Do I want to bash heads? Yes, I do. Do I want to see you hurt? Yes, I do. But that's not the godly way. So that's that Martin coming out. That's not the godly way to do it, because God can do things 10 times better than I can. But it's my own stupid, selfish pride that gets me in this situation. God never told me that I'm supposed to be this person helpmate. I'm supposed to save this person. He never said that to me. I told myself that. And because going back to one of our podcasts, our past trauma is instilled in me. And that's what I figured out yesterday when I got up out that bed and went to the urgent care because I was feeling so bad. But I made that appointment too. I was like, you're not taking care of yourself, Kim. You're out here doing 100 different things for 100 different people, and you're not taking pride and time for yourself. And this came from my past trauma. That's all I ever knew. Take care of my mom and my sister. I mean, and it's like, step back. I can't do this no more. I gotta take care of Kim. I gotta get to know Kimberly and get her taken care of and get her revived and get her whole and better for whoever's waiting on this other side of the storm. Because I come out of storm, I may be out that storm about a month, 2 months, and boom, I hit another storm. So I done hit Ike, Katrina, Harvey, all back to back.
Everything
So
together. Yeah.
yes.
So you mentioned something, and we really haven't like touched on that, and it's the loneliness factor.
Mhm.
Because and it's a good point because I had a friend that kind of went through this. He was basically having issues with his girlfriend at that time.
Mhm.
They ended up getting married, but what happened was they I guess they argued about petty stuff, here and there. And then, he's like, I'm not going back. I'm not going to do this. And, I kind of like spoke to him, just, gave him a little bit of advice. But at the end, he broke down and told me one day, he was like, I can't do it. And I was like, can't do what? He's like, I can't be alone. He's like,
Mm.
I have to have someone in my life. I'm not used to that. I was married before, and I had someone, and we, we were together for many years, and that's all I know. So I mean, I guess I can get that, but I think, for me outside looking in, I feel like it could be easy to leave a person and not need someone, because there was a point in time where I was alone for a while and I was okay. I'm an online gamer, so I was okay being alone. But you know, it came to a point where after a few weeks of being home and going out wherever the hell I wanted, you know, it- you kind of feel the need to have someone to talk to on a
Mhm.
daily basis, or every other night or something like that. So I kind of understood what he was talking about, because you being alone, a few nights, you're okay.
Mhm.
If you don't have someone living with you, someone talking to you, your kids or someone, you'll be okay with a certain point to a certain point in time, and then it's gonna come to where it hits you. You're like, I'm freaking lonely. I don't have no
Mhm.
one. I need someone, to go out. It's only so many times. I mean, you want to go out on your own or
Mhm.
hang out on your own. If you don't have like your kids or something like that, you just feel like extremely lonely. And like, let's say you're going to like through some type of depression or some type of situation, it's going to hit you even worse. So, I mean, I get it, but I think when it's a certain situation and you're dealing with, past trauma, or that person calls you past trauma, then you should have it to where in your mind you move forward, and like, let's say, not go back to that person, but find someone else, someone that fits your criteria, that you've basically set in your mind. Hey, this person used to beat me. I'm gonna make sure the next person does not beat me. Or this person used to talk to me a certain way. I'm gonna not go, and find someone that does that. Or, you're not gonna go to a bar knowing that the previous relationship, the person you were with, um, drank a lot. So you're gonna find someone that gets drunk there. So it's like, go to the right places. And then people say, well, go to church and find someone. Not everyone that goes to church is godly.
Mm-mm.
Some of the most ungodly, unchristian people are there. And I don't want to say that that's everyone, but that's not like, I mean, if you go to a bar looking for someone that drinks, you're going to find it. If you go to church, yeah, you're going to find someone that's godly, but there are a lot of unholy, and a lot of ungodly people there that, go just to go. They're not going to be, holy, and they haven't given themselves completely to God. It's been a while for me. I go to church all the time, but I haven't got baptized in many, 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 many years. But I don't consider myself a bad person, and I don't consider myself unholy. I mean, I do everything within my power to, follow the steps of God, but I'm not 100% holy. There's only person I think that can be 100% holy is someone that's 100% in the faith, and follows every rule, and like pastors, because they have to be. But even so, there's some pastors that don't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
depending on your church, or depending on where you go, everyone has, like, my father-in-law said, everyone's human, everyone has a downfall. So you never know, what you're, running into.
Yeah, the hospital, I mean, the church is a hospital, basically. A lot of broken people. So when you go into church and try to find somebody, just understand that they broken too. Are they getting over their healing too? Because that's what I've understood. I mean, just because you in church doesn't mean you all the way there. Because I like pastors to be real. I don't like pastor like my pastor is so real. I love that about him. I don't like the pastor that like they never had a past and they want to condemn you of yours. But I think, one thing when you saying dealing with, what you don't want to deal with because of what you dealt with. How do you know what you want? I mean,
Say it
because
again.
you know what you don't want to deal with because of what you dealt with. So, how do you know what you want? I mean, because I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with nobody that we can't get over something that happened. Okay, that happened. Let's get over it. Did it take us out? Did it cause anything to happen between us? No, it didn't. It was just a simple miscommunication or something like that. Uh, you know, get over it and move on. But I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with nobody who, constantly feel like you have to cuss me out, put me down. I don't want to deal with anybody who feel like they have to put their hands on me. I don't want to deal with anybody that, see, I know what I don't want to deal with, but I don't know what I do want to deal with. What if this person is soft spoken and don't speak all the time and just listen? Okay, I want somebody to speak back. I can be at home with my dogs with somebody that can't speak back to me or elaborate with me on things, but it's just that's a hard thing to decipher. What do you want to deal with, because you have dealt with, and I just don't know. It's just like that's a tough situation you're in, because you done deal with so much where you're confused, like you walking around confused because you know all the bad things. Okay, this can you because somebody have a drink. That may be my trigger and be afraid of that person, because I was always afraid of people who got drunk and they took out their anger. Like if I drink and I get a little happy, I'm happy. Or and I go to sleep. Most people have such past that bring that hinders them that they haven't fixed. Alcohol makes them bring that up. So you get the short end of the stick. Now, well, you did say, what, getting with somebody else and moving on. That's what I'm not saying I'm a bad person, right? But I don't want to find my next victim, because I feel like the person, once they leave a relationship, yeah, you're gonna be alone, and that's a hurtful thing. You don't want to be alone. You want to feel that somebody that cares. You don't have to sleep in the bed with them every day, but just somebody that cares for you, check on you, be there for you, or whatever. But if I leave one relationship and it's not sealed, I'm gonna just find my next victim, because I'm gonna put all that mistrust and all that stuff that I dealt with this person on somebody else. So I feel like when it's sealed and okay, there's no coming back, then I can work on me, because this is what people do. And they don't understand. They find their next victim instead of their next partner, because they get out of the relationship with somebody, get into a relationship with another person. Either you was hurt when you got out of that relationship. How did you go to this person and you gonna give this person your full all? People done got married like that. And I'm like thinking, how did you was with this other person, in the bed with this other person? How did you give it? Don't, to me, emotions don't turn on and off like that. For me, it don't turn on and off like that. And if I care for you, I care for you. And I made that mistake, but I became somebody's victim. And then all they do is move on to the next victim because they don't fix themselves. And many times it's therapy. That's why I say I need to get back into therapy, because whatever God has for me, I want to be able to receive it, be thankful for it, and treat it like it should be treated. Not treated, mishandled it, because I'm so afraid and so caught up with these past traumas that I've been through.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up great points, and I mean, like you said, you know what you don't want to deal with, but you do know what you want to deal with. But how do you find that? How do you find what you do want to deal with, and how much, like we said in a previous podcast, how much are you willing to put up with to find that right situation, that right partner, that right person that meshes with you, your yin to your yang or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in this day and age, it's more tougher for us 40-year-olds to figure that out, because we know what we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you gonna find what you want? Because now you have like this list of
Mm-hmm.
things you want to find in a man or a woman, but that other person that's 40 years old, around your age, or within your age bracket, they're looking for similar things or maybe different,
Mm-hmm.
because their mindset could be, I don't want to deal with someone within my age. They may be having a midlife crisis already, and they're looking for someone younger, or they're looking for someone to do something that that last person didn't do. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what that last person did. You know what you don't want to have in that next one. So I think sometimes you have to have an open mind. You
Mm-hmm.
have to find someone who uh, fills most holes, or gaps, that you're looking for, or, checks the boxes, most boxes, and try to make it work out. Whereas trying to look for someone who fits everything, like we spoke about before, tall, dark, handsome, and does this and has money and has a job, you know, some of those criterias don't fit every person, and trying to save someone to make it work, or to um just go back to what you knew, because it's commonplace, or it's something simple to fit back into. It's like you got this brand new car, you're looking at a brand new car, it's a new car note, and it's got all the bells and whistles, it meets all your new criteria that you're looking for. But you
Mhm.
have this 96 Honda Accord that has like 150,000 miles. It takes you everywhere you need to go. It has, excellent gas mileage. You kept it up to date. Just needs oil here and there, or something like that. But from time to time, it breaks down on you, and you have to just give it an uplift. Now, are you willing to sacrifice and get into a car note, or keep that car that may or may not break down on you on any given time, and your mind has never, because the mind is a crazy thing. When you have a car and it has an issue, when you start thinking about it, that issue happens. Like you start
Mhm.
thinking, oh man, I got a bad battery, it's gonna like mess up on me. That's the
Mhm.
day it does it, because that's the way the world works. But if you have this brand new car, something you've never, driven before besides the test drive, but you're going to get into a car payment, but you can make it work because it fits everything. You can afford it. But you're still thinking, man, but I can just keep this car and ride it till
Mhm.
the wheels fall off, and just keep doing oil changes, and maybe or may not, or may not leave me, stranded here or there, but it's going to come. In your mind, you're thinking, it, it's eventually going to happen. So why
Mhm.
not move into something new, step into something new, try a new relationship, and not go back to what you've had before, where, if a certain situation happened, and we spoke about this before, if a certain situation happened before, it's going to come back again.
Mhm.
Same thing with the car, it's going to come back again. With the new car, the only issues you're going to deal with a new car is new car issues. Maybe it has a recall, maybe it has, the gas mileage is not the same, or you have to, step it up, and you got a bigger engine versus, a four cylinder versus a six cylinder, or vice versa, an eight cylinder. What to expect. You can hop in that car at any given time, and everything's gonna be smooth sailing. But it's the old car that's the issue.
I beg to differ on that. Let me tell you why. Okay. I used to be the person that always wanted a new car, right? I wanted the new car, man. I got this car, I want this one, or whatever, because I don't have to worry about that. But say, you know how they say cheaper to keep them or whatever? Yeah, the old saying is cheaper to keep her. Uh,
I got
so
something to say after that. Go ahead.
So let me tell you how I put it, and I could be wrong because I can't compare the two because you know one car is not taken care of, right? The oil hadn't been changed, it has some issues, but if your used car has been taken care of, got the mileage, oil changed when it needed to be changed, tires rotated, whatever, I think it's better to stick with the old one. It's just things that you have to work out, but this is the but. If that old one, that you'd have missed a couple of oil changes on that sucker. You know that you dogged that car out. It's time to change. And I'm gonna just say it for me. Put it out loud. I deal with a relationship. It had a lot of issues in that relationship. That's a vehicle that has issues prior to me that it needed to be worked out. I wanted to be Captain Saban. Then that made that more issues between us because I couldn't conform to where he wanted me to conform to or how he wanted me to be. I don't know what it was. So, but anyway, but a lot of people want to get the new car and can't afford the new car. The new car look pretty. That's that girl that's on that pole. She look pretty. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. That she looks pretty. And then this is coming from my sons who's in the late 20s, early 30s. Everything about her look good. But why are you looking on the outside instead of the inside? Because that's a made up. When she get off that pole, how is she every day? Because she still have a standard. Now some of them come off that pole and look, be regular. Some of them come off of it and they have to live this standard on Instagram, right? They have to, they got to keep their money coming in other directions. So when a man loses or a woman loses something in their relationship, that's something that wasn't done. Have you been checking in this relationship, making sure, hey, is the oil change? Do I need some new tires because we going miles on this relationship? Uh, Let me get some seat covers. Yeah, the seat's kind of warm, but let me get some little seat covers. We both are changed. That's the outer appearance of both of y'all. The seat covers, they're changing, they're wearing. So okay, let's cover up. We can't be all out in the open no more. Breasts out, legs all out, or whatever. Dressing in from the 20s, 30s, 40s. That's gonna be a difference. But that's your car. So you have to love your car. If you take care of it, it'll take care of you versus going get something new. Now, yeah, if that car completely then clocked out and you did everything to keep it afloat, okay, yeah, then it's time to, let me go kick the tires on this new car. Let me research this new car. Because what people do, and it's been my problem. That's why I said I try not to make it a sex thing for me. Because that my last real relationship was about sex. I try to make it not about sex for me. I try to make it about that person. And that's like a car. Let me go, let me test drive it. Let me research it. Let me learn about it. Those are the things I didn't do. And I keep going back to that other car that the oil hadn't been changed regularly. It had issues. It was knocking. The motor was knocking. They just put thicker oil and it was knocking before I got with it. But I still tried to shake with it, see me shaking with the car shaking down the road, because you're fearful, yeah, to get into something new. Can I afford it? Is it gonna take away from my time? What if something happened? Get repoed? I'm back on the ground again. I done traded my old car for this new car. What if my job play out? I mean, yeah, look at all that.
So you messed up my whole analogy. Then you, then
But
you went,
we
then
putting
then
it
you
in a
went back
different
to
way.
it.
But we
You
putting it in a different way though. So like seriously though, you don't think about it. Your car, you a car fanatic, right? You restore cars, right?
yeah.
But as long as you take care of that car gonna take care of you. That's how you can see people. So you and your fiance, you're doing everything that needs to be done. Is she doing what she needs to be done? Y'all meet each other halfway. That's taking care of a car in a relationship. But if you trying to do everything and the other one is just constantly you this and this, and they constantly trying to find fault with what you do, or constantly trying to find something that you do, like, oh, you was on Instagram or you was on Facebook. Okay, what does that mean? 100,000 people are on these platforms. That doesn't mean I'm still giving you 100. If you start seeing me slacking off, something going on. I'm not gonna go meet nobody on Facebook or Instagram and say I want to get with them. But you are doing all this stuff. You're actually stalking all these people. You're actually, lurking for girls with big booties, big breasts, or whatever. You lurking for this because something may have happened in your past. I don't know, but it's just that you can't work it out. You can't get it together. I mean, that's what I say. And that's sometimes with a new car. I bought a new car 6 months off the lot. It started giving me problems, electrical problems at that. And they said they couldn't find out what was going on with it. I had to pay it off, and I was stuck
Yeah.
with it for
Well,
6 years.
well, I mean, so my analogy was messed up, but you understood.
Yes, I
It's
understand.
it's it's basically a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got that broken down car, that broken down relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and you know it's gonna come back and bite you in the butt because you're trying to keep it on the road because
Mm-hmm.
and you know you've missed a couple of oil changes, you know, y'all had y'all issues, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna come back and bite you, you know, sooner or later. That new car, you know, granted, there is some lemons out there, like you
Mm-hmm.
just mentioned, but
Mm-hmm.
most times a new car, you're just basically gas and
Mm-hmm.
oil changes. And then, you know, eventually, like you said, tires, you know, after a certain amount of time of driving, you know, or if you know you're going somewhere far, same as a relationship, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that person is going to be faithful to you as long as you do what you're supposed to and they do what they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have that someone that's a tire kicker that constantly says, "Oh, I want a new car. I want this car. I want this car." You already know this person is undecisive, which that's kind of like me. You know, I always want a different car because I see something that I like something or I you know, test drove a car and I seen features, but am I going to go change a car and get into a higher note? Probably not. But if you
Mm-hmm.
have a person that like you say is lurking, you know, going on other people's pages or watching you, you know, go on people's pages or, you know, worried about what you're doing or like someone said before, um, shebang or what was it?
What? I don't even know.
Remember your friend said that her
Oh my.
husband goes on people's pages and posts something.
Oh
What's
yeah,
the
I can't
same thing?
remember. I can't remember it. Oh my god, I remember you. Yeah, she did say that.
So I mean that's a different thing. Like I'll say maybe many years ago I would, you know, comment on people's pages, but it was like honest things, you know, or if you got a nice car or something like that, you know, and then some people take that okay, some people don't. Some people think you're trying to, you know, talk to them, you know, especially if it's a car girl or something, you know, they get hit on all the time. But I think if someone's lurking, someone's watching, someone's basically looking at everything you like or dislike or have those apps that because there's apps that actually tell you when you unfriended someone or something like that, you know, it gives a lot of information. But I don't know, I ever since I've stopped doing car shows and things like that, I get on Instagram, I watch a few videos, I get off. It's not the same to me. Same as, you know, YouTube. I'll watch certain comedians or car shows or certain things that I'm interested or watch other podcasts, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
to get more information, you know, and keep up to date. But certain things you want to not inundate yourself with certain things because then it fills your mind up with other things, just like a man or a female that goes onto Instagram just to look for that big booty or the big breast or something, because
Mm-hmm.
then you start looking to your significant other and be like, well, man, she don't got a big booty, you know, she don't got big breasts, you know, like you
Mm-hmm.
say that the strip on the pole, you know, can only be good for so long, and then you know then you have to come back home, you know, but now you're out of like 70, $80, you know, whatever you spent at that club. But I think that when it's a fantasy, it's a fantasy. It should stay a fantasy. It shouldn't. You shouldn't bring that back home and try to manipulate your significant other or try to picture them in that same thing because that person gets paid to do that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they once they go home, they go to their significant other. They're probably just plain Jane. You know, it's just you know at that time they're you know putting on a show because that's their job,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I think with the whole Instagram thing, you know, we've said this before, you know, you have to take that at face value
Mm-hmm.
because that person is not 100% what you see there, you know, they're a totally different person.
Yeah, and what gets me is like I'm not gonna say all guys, but some guys, they want you to dress up now. But mine, man, if we're in a relationship, I don't mind doing it. Yeah, I do it. But what are you giving me? That's the thing. What are you giving me? Because men think it's just like whatever this goes through their mind is like we are always ready. That's not true. Young girls be thinking they always ready. What they make men think they always ready because there's dollar signs in their eyes. But men, they don't do anything like how can I'm gonna say this, and this is for another podcast. I don't want the hot dog. Give me a sausage. Your shit is a hot dog. It's flingy right now. It's like, and that you call that hard? I mean, this hot dog. I mean, come on. But I don't bring that up to you because I know that things gonna happen. Let me try to work with it. What the hell? Look at your shit too, cause don't just put it on the woman, but give us something. Like y'all can't dress up. No man don't need to dress up, but give me something to excite me. I have to excite you, entice you, which I don't mind doing. But what the hell are you doing to me? Because certain men, once the dick ain't all that no more. You have to learn how to work a couple other things, but it ain't all that certain ones. Because you done wore it out. You done wore it out back in your day, or you still trying to wear it out. Yeah, nah. But I don't know. It's like I'm not gonna go. You look for a youngster. I'm not gonna fantasize about a youngster because of the situation. It's us, and I'm gonna keep it between us because that's what I want to work. But I don't know. It's just they look at. I don't know what women. I've never heard an older woman that I talked to said it. They look at porn, or they probably do, but a strip club for the male Chippendales or whatever to get them. We don't try to. We try to change y'all to be better, but we don't try to change y'all in the bedroom. Put it like that. That's what y'all try to change us in the bedroom. Like, yeah, this fantasy in the head. And I think all of them, because I have older boys, I think that's in men, period. So y'all have this fantasy. I don't know
I
what it
think
is.
women have that fantasy. It's not. I don't think it's every woman because I mean I've known women that back in the day when that club La Bear was around, they thought those were the finest men.
Hmm.
And then part two is like horsemen. I know you
Hmm.
heard of horsemen
I
and
I heard
going.
of it, but I didn't go. So
I
please.
mean, I went to clubs and they end up bringing them on. And I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? But then that to me, that's to me, that's selfish because, there's women in that club. If they would have brought strippers, I would have been like, hell yeah. Because sometimes
Hmm.
that's what happens. They bring people from other locations, and come there to kind of like promote their club and then they 20 minutes and they're out. But back to the fantasy, I mean, certain things and I think certain people love to live that fantasy, love to live in that world and love to, fantasize on certain situations, every guy, oh, if I had twins, I'd be with both twins or some or menage a trois. Some guys can't even handle two women. Some guys can't even handle one woman.
Hmm.
It's just like some women can handle one guy. It's vice versa, and I think sometimes I think the fantasy world you see porn and you see them going at it for like 40 minutes, but the whole time they're taking breaks in between because it's a filming, so they're like it's a break. It's not like it's 40 minutes straight. Most people have sex for like 10 minutes and that's it, they're done, unless you move to another position or you start with foreplay. It just depends. Or some people say, we're gonna have sex all night. Well, sex all night can be a little bit here and then you relax and then you go again. It's not like you're going the whole freaking night.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever gone the whole night, but you just you got breaks in between. You go get a sandwich, you come back and part two, part three, or whatever. But I'm just saying it's like
You go get a sandwich. Yeah. But
I'm just
yeah.
saying, it's like you take a break, you go get some water or something. It's 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 never like the fantasy world. I don't think should ever intertwine with the real world, just
Mhm.
because I don't think either of those, you know, could meet in the middle and you have a healthy relationship because you're still thinking of that fantasy world, or you don't, let's say your woman doesn't live up to the fantasy, or your man doesn't live up to the fantasy, you wanted, a big sausage, but all he has is a hot dog or something,
Mhm.
vice versa. Sometimes you just got to deal with what's there. If the love is there, then it doesn't even matter, to be
Mhm.
honest. As long as both of y'all are pleased, in the end. And then we still got one topic to talk about it, and you haven't even mentioned it.
Which one?
Why are you looking at your paper?
Because I'm trying to. Because we talk about what you don't. What we got to talk about? What is it? Tell me.
So, how would you feel if your significant other had a wedding dress
Yeah, I forgot about it. Ah, I
or
forgot
wedding
about it.
rings
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that? So, my opinion, and we said this before we started, I believe if you come out and tell me, hey, I got a wedding dress, and all my life I've thought, or I wanted to get married, the white wedding dress with the white picket fence, and I just didn't have a man or anything, but I knew, my dream was always to get married. I would take that and be like, okay, understandable. But if you tell me, different, you're like, well, I never been in a relationship, but this guy gave me a dress, he gave me a ring. I think I would feel a little different. So go ahead and explain your situation.
Okay, so yes, I do. So it's about me. I'm gonna tell the truth, shame the devil. I was talking to a friend earlier today, and she was like, "You have to let the past go," and that's probably why I still deal with some situations. But I'm like, I let the past go. What are y'all talking about? Then I got to thinking as I'm driving and I'm talking to her. I was like, oh my god, I have a whole wedding dress that's 13 years old in my closet. The engagement ring, 13 years old. I have it. And everywhere I go, it moves with me. That is holding on to the past. She was like, girl, you need to go sell it. You need to, go take it to the pawn shop, put it on offer up. It's brand new wedding dress. And you need to just go pawn it and that's relieving you of the past so you can move forward. And I was like, oh, I'm saving that for my daughters. One of them ain't even at age to get married. The other one, she's too focused on medical school. She ain't bothered right now. And the dress wouldn't even fit her because she's much shorter than me. But anyway, I was like, oh my God, I need to go before my next journey. I'm God moving me to a new journey. I can't take this to my new journey. And it hurts because that's my color. And I don't want to get with another man and be like, I got this wedding dress. We're going to use this wedding dress. Even though another man bought it, this is my ideal wedding colors and dress. That's how I feel. I guess I'm trying to defend it, but I've always taken this dress. And the crazy part about it, I think I'm trying to make sure that I'm not tripping. I think I did move this dress in with another dude when I moved in with another dude. I think I brought that dress there. I know I did. So that
Did he
tells you
ever
how.
say anything? Did he ever
He never seen it. It was he never went in there and seen it. I put it in the kids' room, so he never actually got to see it.
so you're
And
hiding it?
I wasn't hiding it. It was just no room in the closet, so I put it in the other closet. I think that my new journey that I'm going through, and next month I'm gonna try to go ahead and sell it. It's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna go ahead and sell it so I can move. So I can
So the question is, why is it gonna hurt? Like
because
what?
it's
Like
not gonna hurt because of that past relationship is over and done with. But I just that's the dress I picked out. He went and bought it for me, and I got sized in it and everything, and I was gonna get married, and those are my colors. But I think that hurt because I held on to it for so long. But it's time to, because once I start piecing some stuff away out of my past, I think I can move forward into my future, and that's what I'm ready to do. I'm ready to do so. As of tomorrow, I'm gonna have to send you, Anthony, pictures that I put this thing on offer up to sell it, so I can cleanse my past and go ahead and move
I mean,
forward.
you don't have to prove it to me, but
I don't have to prove it to you because you're gonna say something about it. You know, your little smart remark. Hey, whatever happened to that dress? I already know. Like, I may get a text message from you, so I don't know.
I'll wait a week and then I'll.
There you go. But I'm gonna do it. Yes, so I got two
So
engagements.
okay, so let's flip the script on it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you got involved with the man,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he had a tux.
Mm-hmm.
And a tux is like a wedding tux. It's not like I guess a wedding tux and a regular tux is almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say it's a wedding tux, and and he had a wedding ring, or he had an engagement. Well, men don't get engagement rings, but he had a wedding ring.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel if you found it? Like, he never told you about a previous relationship. He never told you that he was almost married. He's never said anything about it. And he had it in a room. It's his size and everything. Like, he hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
And the wedding ring, it's, in like a jewelry box. And one day you just happen to put your stuff. How would you feel if you were to find that? But he's never mentioned anything about a relationship. He's never mentioned he was almost married, and you guys tell each other everything. And it's like 6-7 months down the line, like the whole meet and greet stage is gone. So now I set the stage. How would you feel?
Can I tell you something? That has happened to me. I never told you this. Okay, so the 10-year relationship I was in, 11 years or whatever. He didn't tell me he was gonna marry that girl he got out the relationship with, and then we got together. He had a ring. I never seen it in the car before, and all of a sudden I found it in the door of the car. His wedding ring, and I was like, what is this for? And he told me, yeah, he was gonna get married. He was gonna propose to the girl, but it didn't work out. Some stuff went on. So he ended up proposing to me with the same ring that he had from another girl. So that's the ring I got that I need to pawn to. And it's a $6,000 ring. So I think I was caught up at that time. It was flashy. But did I feel hurt? No, because in return he ended up proposing to me. Because I think it came before me. I wasn't hurt. I should have been, maybe, because you using some ring that you was planning on giving another woman, and you gave it to me.
So maybe I posed the question wrong. Maybe it's not a wedding ring for her or another lady. Maybe it's his wedding ring that he had.
Oh, and
Like, how would you feel if you found like a man's band,
he didn't.
in the car, and he didn't tell you, he never mentioned that he was supposed to get married or thought about getting married or anything like that?
Once again, because it's before me, I think I wouldn't be upset about that because it's before me. And if it ended and we together, you're not having any, y'all don't even conversate or speak anymore. It's before me. Now, if you're dealing with that person, back and forth talking, well, guys are very good of hiding stuff. They think they are good anyway. They
How you
think
gonna
they
say
are.
that good and then you change it up?
Some of them so sneaky you won't know nothing. Now other ones, they so dumb you figure it out. But I'm thinking that if I find some kind of notion that you're dealing with that person, like, this is the thing when I'm a lot of guys I had to get used to. They be on their phone watching other stuff, but some of them sneaky. They have these dark screen, whatever the screen protectors on their phone
Yeah,
now, so you can't see what they doing.
privacy screen.
Privacy screen. So they doing other stuff, and knowing what I know now that my exes do conversate with me and they in other relationships, I know those women don't know. So I know that they can be hurt. And I don't know. I'm not gonna say God getting back at me because I didn't do anything. I mean that's their fault. But if he's still dealing with that person, if I got a notion he's still dealing with that person, I will be hurt. But if this is something happened and then we get together maybe a year later, then
You're no
yeah,
good.
yeah, huh? I'm no good.
No, because I would expect you to be mad or upset or
I
I
can't.
mean I would. I mean if I find so like let's say, if I find like letters and I
Hmm.
find notes and you haven't got rid of it
Hmm.
and let's say it's like a year down the line, 2 years down the line.
Hmm.
You still have it. It's still lingering around. You still got, a wedding ring, a wedding band, and you don't wear it, but you still have it. I mean, when I got out of a relationship, I got rid of everything. I got rid of the wedding band, I pawned it or something, I sold it. I got rid of it because I knew, that was it. Yeah, we're done. I don't want to be going back and forth, so I got rid of it. And I don't want the next person that I start to date to think that, there's s- like no closure. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, that's just me.
Well, this is the thing. I think when I took that wedding dress with me, I didn't know where we was going. I thought if we would have went into a direction that it was gonna be something. We didn't even last 2 months together. That tells you that's crazy. Not even 2 months. But um, if I'm just talking to somebody, I'm not gonna get rid of everything. Yeah, let me get rid of it at my own pace. But if I know we're moving to something better, yeah. Now I'm not gonna have any letters or anything like that, but something that I don't think that they will see if it's in it's a closet or whatever, or it's put up like the ring is put up right now, and the dress is in the closet. You have to really go. It's in the back of the closet. But if we actually going somewhere in this relationship and not just cutty buddies, remember that episode,
Mm-hmm.
cutty buddies. If we're
Mm-hmm.
not just that, then yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it because I want to start fresh with you. But this guy, the one that I got with and I brought the wedding dress to his house. I mean, I got an engagement ring from him. I didn't want a big engagement ring. I wanted something because my auntie always said the bigger the ring, the worse the divorce, quicker the divorce. So I was like, this time I want a regular size ring. I don't want nothing big on my finger. Shit, it didn't even last 2 months. So I got two rings to get rid of and a dress. And I figured that out now, but I didn't think about it then. It's just that my friend, she brought it up. And I was like, when I told her, I said, man, it's crazy. I got this dress in my closet. And she was like, you got to get rid of the past. You starting to embarking on a whole new future, a whole new city that you would never thought you would live in. You move into a whole new city. So let's get rid of all the old. Because I was talking about getting rid of old clothes that I don't wear and logging them, taking them over to my new place. But she was like, yeah, try to get rid of that. So yeah, that's one of the things I got, and I need to just close the casket on it maybe.
Yep.
But it's a lot of people getting married, and it's a beautiful dress. Don't get me wrong. And the ring, I don't like doing pawn shops, but let me go see what they say. I don't like going in there because it feels creepy to me. But
Pawn
there we
shop
go.
feels creepy to you.
Yeah, it feel creepy because you got like I went to a pawn shop looking for something. I don't know what I was looking for out of there. And it was just all these people selling all kinds of stuff and I'm like, did
You
they
feel
just
like
rip
you're a crackhead.
Yeah, or did they rip off somebody? It was something I was looking for. You know what? It was my son. He was young. I went to look for a little game for him, and they said, "Go to the pawn shop. Don't buy him nothing new. He too small." That's what it just felt. It felt creepy because all these people, man, they look like they just robbed the shit out of somebody's house. They had a lot of stuff, so I felt like, oh, if the cops swarm in here, I'm in here trying to buy a game. But I think I'm gonna just, yeah, that's my plan for this weekend is to clean out some stuff, get rid of some stuff. It's gonna hurt
Spring cleaning in the fall.
in the
Sounds
fall.
good.
Yeah, cleaning up my life. That's basically it. Clean up Kim's life.
All right. So that has been our podcast today, podcast number 23.
23.
So if you feel like you've been stupid and you want to talk about it, reach out to us on our socials. We feel free to ask us any questions, or if you want to be on the actual podcast, reach out. We do have some more guests coming up pretty soon. We haven't had a guest in a couple of episodes, so it's coming. I already have a guest possibly, but we'll see what happens. So this is More Speaks Out and the Even Me podcast. And your girl Kim.
And your girl Kim.
Y'all take it easy.
Bye.